Well, we're pleased to be joined today by a couple of trying champs in Jay Gladieux and Seth Ware. Guys, how are you?
We're good.
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking.
So you just played a football game. You guys are 1-0. Good start. Pretty fun last night to get out there and play, Jay?
Yes. After having the whole COVID season, actually being able to get out there and play again, like things are normal. It's fun to actually be back to normal.
Now you're a dual sport athlete, so obviously you're on the football team and also the track team. And I was wondering today, do those sports complement each other? Does training for one help for the other, or are they just two totally separate disciplines?
They 100% complement each other. They're obviously football's in the fall and track's in the spring. I try to tell people on the football team all the time, if you want to get faster, stronger, that kind of thing, join the track team. And then, you can only get better.
So when you're during football season, are you 100% focused on football, or do you also do track workouts?
100% football.
And then same for track season?
Yes, sir.
So it all works together. So Jake, you messed around and won the national championship in the 400-meter hurdles last spring.
Yeah.
Only the second Division III national championship in Trine University history. Going into the semester, going into the track season, did you have any idea that you had that kind of an accomplishment in front of you?
Not at all, really. You kind of go in with expectations, but the way we're coached, you just take it one meet at a time, and every meet you want to hit PR, so you kind of know your potential and what you can reach, but you don't really know until everything gets put together, and then you got to leave it out there on the track.
So you had a COVID diagnosis before the national track meet and dealt with that and got better, obviously. Was there a time when you were concerned if you'd even be able to compete?
Yeah, right away. So I think I tested positive May 12th, somewhere in there, and then the Nationals was May 27th, so I literally just got out of quarantine. I only did 3 workouts during about a week and a half, 2 week span, and I could not even breathe through them workouts. I was really scared, actually. I was texting him I'm nervous, and he was just like, just calm down, we're gonna do what we do, and it all ended up working out. So
Seth, this is incredible. Coach Ware, the regional assistant coach of the year, you can see the hardware right there. For him to recover from his COVID case and to get out of quarantine and to be able to compete at that level, that's special, isn't it?
Yeah, it takes a lot of mental fortitude to be able to work through that. Luckily, we had done enough early in the season that he was in probably the best shape he's ever been in. I think had it not been for the COVID diagnosis, we probably would have been talking a little bit faster times and things like that. But to be able to get through that, he was qualified in more than one event, so he actually ran 3 races at Nationals. And to do that 2 weeks after having COVID is pretty remarkable.
Seth, I wanted to ask you about your time as a high school track coach. You coached at nearby Fremont High School for a little while before you came to the college level. What was that like, and did that help prepare you for this next step?
So Fremont, most people don't really know Fremont. It's a small 1A school in Indiana. There's no classes. I was primarily a distance runner in college, and I threw javelin a little bit. So when I took that job, I'd never coached sprints before in my life, and they already had a pretty established distance coach at the time. So I worked with Coach Waters, who was here at the time, and he's probably my biggest coaching mentor, and I learned a tremendous amount from him. And working with athletes at that level, it really teaches you how to be patient and develop things and to really make those leaps and bounds to get people better. And we were fortunate to have state qualifiers every year I was at Fremont.
So fast forward to Jake here. When did you notice him the first time? Obviously, you've been working with him for a while. Did you notice greatness in Jay Gladieux from the very beginning?
Jake's one of those guys that we typically at the Division III level we don't always get. I met him on a Saturday morning for breakfast one day because he was here on a football visit, and we had breakfast, and I told him, I was like, point blank, our goal for you was to win a national championship. Based on his high school times, I knew what he was capable of, and I mean, we did a little earlier than we thought we would, but now we can go from there. And I mean, he's got some pretty high aspirations. And my job as a coach is to take their goals and make the plans so that they can accomplish them.
So you're named the division or the regional assistant track coach of the
Yeah.
year. What did that mean to you to win that accolade?
To me, it's more of a program award. I mean, I was an athlete here for 4 years, and our track program, we weren't always the greatest. And I mean, over the last 7-8 years, we've really built one of the top programs in the region. So I really credit our entire athletic department and the ability for us to bring in athletes to actually establish a culture where we can win awards like this. I mean, it's the athletes, they buy in and they do the plan, and that's when you get awards like this. So
where do you feature that in your home? Is that right when you walk in, everybody gets to see that?
So I mean, I'm a single guy. I live with a golden retriever, so I don't have a whole lot of decorations. So honestly, it'll probably end up in a trophy case here.
Perfect.
But
You'll leave it right here on campus.
yeah.
I want to finish up back with you, Jake. Obviously, Coach already said it. You win the national championship as a sophomore. Obviously, you're in the middle of football right now and certainly want to win an MIAA championship with the Thunder football team. But track season will be back soon enough. What can you do as an encore now? You've already reached the mountaintop in your sport in terms of the 400-meter hurdles. What sort of goals are still out there for Jake Gladieux?
Win the 400 hurdles again. This year, I'd definitely like to make it for the 110s to the finals because I made prelims, but I didn't run the best race that I could have. So I'd like to make finals for that. We have a really good 4x1 team. They actually had a really good chance to make nationals, but COVID hit 2 or 3 of us, so we weren't able to run at the last chance meet. So getting them 3, maybe a 4x4 there, or going for the open 400, there's a whole bunch of possibilities. Plus, I'd like to eventually, I mean, this is a faraway goal, but I'd like to one day try out for the Olympics in 2024.
I mean, it's all right out there for you. And before we wrap this up, you know, Coach has talked about you a little bit, Jake. How's Coach Ware helped to prepare you for the success you've enjoyed?
Oh, man. I had good high school coaches, but where they're at compared to where Coach Seth gets us is just a whole nother level. He loves to always try to say he is where he's at because of the athletes, but we're at where we're at because of him. The workouts are great. Sometimes you come in and you just look at the paper and you're like, what are we doing? But at the end of the day, everything works out and he puts us in position to do what we can do. So.
You two have both made Trine University extremely proud with what you've already accomplished and so much more out in front of us. Best of luck as the football season continues and as we get into track. Thank you so much for everything you do for Trine.
Thank you.